Hi, this lesson 7 is on pronouns and antecedents. It's probably review for most of you. In the screen that you see in front of you, it says the pronoun takes the place of a noun, and it's true. I think most high school students get mixed up in the agreement and in the antecedent part of the usage of pronouns. So we're going to be doing a few of these lessons as a group and making sure we understand how we correctly use pronouns in our writing. I'm going to use this fancy word antecedent, and it really is just the word, the noun, that the pronoun stands for. They're important because we want to be using other words as a substitute for a noun. Otherwise, it gets really redundant. In the sample sentence you see in front of you, it says Jeffrey wrote a poem, and Jeffrey called the poem Fated Freedom. So we have to start taking out a lot of these redundant, overused nouns and replacing them with something like a short pronoun, he, she, it, etc. In activity 1, you're going to be doing numbers 1 through 5, and I just simply want you to write out the pronoun and its antecedent. So in the sample you see, Herbert, where is your project for the science fair? Your is a stand-in for Herbert, so we're going to be writing out both words using an arrow from the pronoun your to the antecedent Herbert. Okay, I've got all 5 here, so pause your screen as you continue on. In activity 2, I would like you to do numbers 1 through 5. You again are going to write out both the pronoun and both antecedents. So you see it gets a little bit more complicated. You're going to be doing 2 arrows because each sentence has 2 pronouns and 2 antecedents. I think the big thing here is just figuring out which goes with which. So pause your screen and you're going to be making 2 pairs of words in this activity. Activity 3, they want you to write out the pronoun that refers to the italicized antecedent. I only want you to do the even numbers, from 1 to 10. If you're understanding this, you have a good ability with use of pronouns in your writing. So pause your screen. Remember, only do the even numbers for activity 3. In activity 4, I want you to skip this because you can see it's a revised paragraph. We will be doing these in our right nows, however. So these skills of the use of pronouns and proper antecedents will be practiced in our right now activities in the beginning of class. Here you see something about personal pronouns, which are I, you, he, she, it, we, or they, because they always refer to people. And they're kind of tricky because sometimes we have to watch the agreement and how they're used in a sample in terms of part of speech. So in this, I'm going to try and reveal it. Yeah. Take the noun Christy, girl's name. We can use Christy as a subject, a direct object, or an indirect object, as you know from the previous screencast, seen in these 3 sentences below. Okay. However, when we take the word Christy as a subject and we change it to she, you have to employ the subject pronoun. Okay. As indirect object, in case of the joke amused Christy, we want to say the joke amused her. Now it's used, the her is your direct object, and that is the object form. And then when we have the indirect, as she is the indirect object, we're again employing the word her as a stand-in for Christy. So the personal pronouns change form as they're used different ways in sentences. Activity 5, just note the subject as you complete numbers 1 through 5, and you're going to use the correct personal pronoun in place of the italicized antecedent. Here's a nice chart showing the different forms of the personal pronouns. Remember I said it can be used as a subject, direct or indirect, or a possessive pronoun. So that's important to note. Activity 6, you will be supplying the missing pronoun for the even numbers only for numbers 1 through 10. And you can always go back to the screen before to find out the list of the different possessive pronouns or different personal pronouns that we use. This screen is a really important thing. Sometimes you'll see my notes on the side of your writing. Agreement error. So remember, there are 2 ways that a pronoun and its antecedent has to agree. One is gender, and the other is a number. Many errors in high school writing occur with this rule here. So understand them and put your knowledge of the agreement to use in the following exercises. You can look at this screen for more practice on it, and then move down to activity 7, where you will be doing numbers 1 through 10. Okay? They've given you a choice of words to choose from. It's a little bit easier, so pause now and complete activity 7. This is just another way to make your writing more interesting. This is a pretty good screen to look up. In activity 8 here, you will be doing numbers 1 through 8, just rewriting each pair of sentences as one sentence. Take out the unnecessary words, and your new sentence should contain a compound subject, compound indirect object, or compound direct object. Circle that compound element and label it. So here are the 2 examples. Okay, see the compound subject in A and the compound indirect object in letter B. You will be doing 1 through 5 on this exercise. So here they are, and pause your screen. This is hopefully a review for a lot of you. It's just showing contractions. I have a lot of kids getting your and it's incorrect. So let's make sure we understand why they have to have contractions. Apostrophes in contractions as we complete numbers 1 through 5 in activity 9. Pay particular attention to number 5. And in the screen here, remember, it's with an apostrophe is a contraction. Without an apostrophe, it is showing possession. Okay. And here's a couple of rules to look at. Use an apostrophe to replace omitted letters, just remember that. And for possessive pronouns, you do not use an apostrophe with pronouns, of course. Activity 10, you will be doing numbers 1 through 10. Again, I hope this is just review, but really watch out for numbers 1, number 3, 4, okay, 6. Let's get those down pat. And number 10, remember to use the correct form of their, your, and its. Activity 11, I would like you to skip. And that concludes our screencast on pronouns and antecedents.